Welcome to the Kingdom Culture Podcast that was created on purpose with a purpose to empower, uplift, and guide others to the center of God's perfect will. Kingdom Culture family, welcome back to the Kingdom Culture Podcast. This week, I want to talk about a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. I was home this past weekend visiting my mom, and we were having dinner, and she and I were having a conversation, and she made a comment that was stuck in my head. She said that a coworker of hers was talking about how it was very hard for her to come and adapt and learn English and have to, communicate the best that she could with the little English that she had. And that she found it kind of annoying that, she couldn't just stay with Spanish. And so my mom started talking about how proud she was that she came from another country and adapted and got everything settled and got everything together, because coming from another country and having to adapt to your surroundings can be super hard. But then she said that, because her coworker was complaining, she said, that's because you have a closed mindset. And so it made me want to think about wow, that's true. We sometimes choose to not want to change and grow, and I really wanted to dive deeper into that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I actually have the definitions of both, so I'm going to read them right now. So it says, a growth mindset is characterized by the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. Individuals with a growth mindset embrace challenges, see failures as opportunities of growth, and are resilient in the face of setbacks. Learning is a lifelong journey for these individuals. A fixed mindset is when someone believes that their abilities and intelligence are set in stone and cannot be changed. People with a fixed mindset might think that if they are not good at something right away, they'll never be good at it. So if they don't get it the first time, they automatically believe that they're not good at it. They might avoid challenges because they're afraid of failing, and when they do fail, they see it as a sign that they're not talented enough. This mindset can hold them back from trying new things or putting an effort to improve. So right away we see the big differences, right? A growth mindset always takes failures as opportunities to grow, change, and adapt. A closed mindset says, nope, well, I didn't get it the first time. I have to be perfect at everything, so I'm not going to try anymore. These two mindsets, obviously, there's people that will always have a positive mindset. They will always try the best. They will never give up on themselves. But you also have the people that kind of find it difficult to find the good in things or find the inspiration or the desire to keep learning and growing, right? Because the truth is that we don't know what we don't know. So we have to have a heart for learning. And so depending on what mindset you take on, it can impact your success and your achievements, right? So research has constantly shown that individuals with a growth mindset are more likely to achieve success and reach their full potential. By embracing challenges and persisting in the face of setbacks, they are better equipped to overcome obstacles and develop their abilities over time. On the other hand, individuals with a fixed mindset may limit their potential by avoiding challenges and giving up easily in the face of difficulties. Their belief in innate talent or intelligence may lead them to plateau early and miss out on opportunities for growth and development. So they throw in the towel too quickly. They don't want to deal with the fact that something's going to make them grow. People with a closed or fixed mindset don't really want to deal with the truth of having to get better, right? Because things don't get better unless you get better. Things don't change unless you change. Things that, may seem like are a failure are honestly opportunities for growth. And I'm so blessed that I feel like I've always had the growth mindset. I've always wanted to do better. I've always wanted to do things that never made sense to anybody. I think I've talked about this before in the podcast. I started an online business when I was 17. And from that, I got a lot of people that were being mean to me and saying that you're going to fail, you're wasting your time, this is ridiculous, it's never going to work. My family didn't get it. They would laugh at me and say, you could get kidnapped for networking and meeting with all these people. And I remember my mom was the only one that said, hey, Avril, if you feel like this is going to work, go ahead and do it. Avril, if you feel like this is something that you really want to learn and do it. And it was so amazing to have her support, at least, right? Because nobody got it. Nobody understood why a 17-year-old would go and get on a camera or get on Facebook and start advertising something. But to be honest, even though it did fail, my first business did fail, I learned so much and I networked with so many people that I don't think I would change it. I think that everything lines up, right? Everything aligns. The choices that you make are making up today, are making up your future. So having a growth mindset allows you to understand that it's okay to take challenges. It's okay to make goals that are achievable. It's okay to do it with fear. My mindset mentor always says that fear's never going to go away. He's been doing, mindset work and stuff like that for over 18 years. He's been, mentoring people over 18 years, and he says that the fears never go away. You just get better at dealing with them. So I find that super cool. So right there we get to see also that having a growth mindset means that you overcome difficulties. You take the obstacles head on. You allow yourself to see the big picture and continue to move forward even though it might suck at that exact moment, right? So how do we cultivate a growth mindset? How do we get there, right? And like I said, it's recognizing challenges and being able to take them head on, but it also involves the fixed beliefs about ourselves and our intelligence, right? We have to get ourselves into a mindset of learning. We have to have a love for learning and a fostering a get mindset of like, hey, I'm not there yet, but I know that I'm going to get there. I'm not there yet, but I'm going to continue to work on this specific thing. Truth is, it takes 10,000 hours for us to be able to be good at something. And if we get into the mindset of mastery, that also goes in with the growth mindset. Because if we want to master something, we're not going to give up in the first failure. We're not going to give up by just one challenge, right? So you always have to be looking for opportunities, right? You have to look at yourself. You have to take the time of the day to sit down and realize, like, okay, what actions did I take today? Did this action, line up to what I'm trying to do? Is it something that it's going to help me grow? Or did I have a closed or fixed mindset on a certain thing that didn't help me cultivate the environment that I need to be able to learn something and grow, right? So it's always about analyzing what you're choosing to think, do, and not do, right? Because everything is a choice. The moment you say yes to something, you're saying no to another thing. So having a growth mindset means that you have, you're emphasizing the importance of effort and perseverance, right? You're modeling a growth mindset in your settings because you want to grow, you want to be better, you want to allow yourself to see what your full potential is. So cultivating that mindset is actually a very inner work choice, right? Because sometimes you can get so caught up in our mindset of like overthinking or thinking that we're not good enough or thinking that, this is all that I know. So you always have to choose to be better, right? I work with the youth at my church, and so I was looking for research that would talk about neuroplasticity and how we can actually reframe our thinking in our brain. So there was a cool research in 2007 that was called a longitudinal study and an intervention. So it was a study of academic achievement among adolescents. The researchers found that students who held the growth mindset tended to achieve higher grades over time compared to those with a fixed mindset. Additionally, the study included an intervention where students were taught about the malleability of intelligence and encouraged to adapt a growth mindset. The intervention group showed significant improvements in their academic performance as well as greater motivation and resilience compared to the control group. So it's so cool that we can also, teach our kids, our teenagers, that having a growth mindset can really take them a long way. And the earlier that they adapt to that, the better that they'll be for the long run, right? I started my growth journey just 3 years ago. And I wish I knew everything that I know now, right? Because I feel like I would have been happier. I would have been seeking more opportunities. I would have been more open to more things. And it just would have been amazing. So I'm always telling my youth students, like, hey, you know what? High school is only 4 years of your life. Like, what do you want to do? Use these 4 years to discover who you are. Don't think about boys. Don't think about dating. Just focus and build a relationship with, the Lord and yourself, your parents, your friends. Really focus down on the things that you love and what you want to do with your life, right? So the fact that there's research out there that shows that adolescents can actually adapt this growth mindset sooner just made me super excited. It also said that, even teachers can praise their students and praise effort and resilience, and start, to tell them, like, hey, great job, you got this. What is something that can challenge you today, or even like in their studies and stuff, and like the homework that they give, they could go an extra step to challenge their students. And it was just so cool to learn about that. And also teaching students about the brain's ability to change and grow in response to challenges can also help foster a growth mindset and empower students to take ownership of their learning, right? So that's so cool. And like I said, right, 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to change completely. So I started my personal development journey. And when I started this, I had no idea what it was going to be like. I had no idea what I needed to focus on. But that's why I had, a lot of time to really think what I wanted to do, right? So I started to sit with myself a lot, spend a lot of time with myself, develop really a very high sense of who I am, so self-awareness. I started to set goals, and actually started to listen to podcasts and stuff like that to help me realize that, okay, these are the areas of my life that I want to challenge and become better at. And that's actually how I found my mindset mentor, through a podcast. So it was really cool to realize that it's a continuous learning thing. This is a lifestyle. This isn't just me doing it for 6 months and then quitting. This is forever. I've actually fallen in love with developing and becoming better and learning more, and always seeking out the next opportunity to be better than who I was yesterday, because the only competition that you have is yourself and your mind. And it's just been super cool and so freeing to realize that, you know what, I can do it. I can do this one thing. And if I have a growth mindset and a mastery mindset, then I know that I'm going to be there. I know I'm going to get there. And it's just so cool to start, to start teaching and start telling people, like, hey, you know what? If you want to do something, you can. I think the only thing that I've made jokes about is, like, if you want to be an astronaut, though, you probably want to start at a young age, or being a doctor, that takes a lot of time too, and things like that. So, but apart from those big things and careers that actually take a lot of time and you have to choose that path, I think that growth is an everyday thing, right? It can be from your friendships, your relationships, the work that you do, the people that are around you, what is your purpose in life. All of those things, they can become better, right? If you're not happy with, the relationship that you have right now, you can actually sit down with your partner and say, hey, where are we slacking? What are we missing? How can we make this better? And the more that you do that, the better that you feel, because you start to see change. And change is so, so good, right? So I wanted to give you some things to help you start cultivating a growth mindset. These are just a few things that I've done, so I wanted to share them with you. I always say that everything's about environment, and you can't, it's like a plant. If a plant starts growing, you get a bulb and you put it in the dirt, and it's just a little thing, and then it sprouts and then starts to grow, and then they tell you, like, you have to replant it either on another pot or outside so it can grow more and more and more. So that's exactly how we are. Your environment truly, truly matters, because if you want to change, you can't keep doing the same things over and over and over again and expect different results. So start cultivating an environment that supports and encourages a growth mindset. Surround yourself with positive influence, such as inspiring books, podcasts, or TED Talks that promote learning, growth, and resilience. Like I said, I found my mindset mentor through a podcast that I just ran into in Spotify, and I just love it because, it's somebody that's already done the hard work forever and it's worked for them. So now they're trying to teach others how to cultivate those things and those habits, right? So what can you change right now to start cultivating a growth mindset? What are some things that you need to remove? What are some things that you need to add, right? And like I said, learn from others. Surround yourself with people who inspire you and embody a growth mindset. Seek out mentors, role models, peers, or peers who demonstrate resilience, perseverance, and a love of learning. Observe their attitudes and behaviors and learn from their experiences and insights. Engage in conversations, ask questions, and be open to receiving feedback and guide from others. We got to do life with each other, right? My mindset mentor said, if you want to go to the top, go fast, but if you want to go far, go with others. And it's so true, because there's a lot of things that I don't know. I'm only 29, so I'm always seeking out mentors. I have a mentor for my mindset. I have a mentor for my investing. I have a mentor for my finances. Like, this is all things that people have already done, and you just have to have, like I said, that love for learning. You have to seek out the people that have what you want. And it's okay, because we cannot do everything by ourselves. Even in faith, the Bible talks about how when the church was first planted, everybody was, went out in pairs of two, right? So that right there lets you know, like, we were meant for community. We were meant to be with people. We were meant to learn from each other and do all the things, right? Another thing you can do is focus on process. Shift your focus from the end result to the process of learning and growth instead of fixating on achieving a specific outcome. Immerse yourself in the journey of discovery, experimentation, and improvement. So like I said, this is a lifestyle. It's forever. Like, I don't think I'll ever be done, or there's a specific destination, or there's a specific goal that I'm aiming for. I think I'm always going to be growing and learning and having that desire to, like, what's next? Okay, cool. I recently wanted to dive deeper into the brain. So I'm looking for books and seeing how actually science works with ourselves and how God created us to be. Super cool. Reflect and adapt. Regularly reflect on your experiences, successes, and challenges, and use them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Take time to evaluate your process, identify areas for development, and set new goals based on your insights and aspirations. This was something super cool that I learned from my mindset mentor. He says to always have an afternoon routine, and in that routine, sit down for 10-20 minutes and write down everything that you did that day and reflect and sit with yourself and say, the choices that I make today make me better. If the choices that I make today, got me closer to whatever that specific goal is right now. And if not, then we get to sit down, reflect, and think about, okay, cool, why didn't I do this? Or why did I choose to do this and not this? So take time to reflect and look at yourself so that you can actually see and learn more about who you are. Because honestly, it's all inward work. And we need to realize that we can't be better if we don't reflect and sit and realize that sometimes we do make mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes can give us a little setback, but that doesn't mean that the journey is over. So always sit down and reflect on yourself and every day, because it's been so cool to just actually have it in writing. And for me to go back and be able to see, like, wow, this is where I was a month ago. This is where I was 2 months ago. And it just kind of gives you this sense of, like, wow, I am changing. I am, doing it. And it's just so cool to actually have a process or progress journal where you can go back and say, this is how I used to be. And now I'm choosing to be better, right? So that's really cool. And like always, I want to leave you guys with a Bible verse. And the Bible verse that I found fit this topic was Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through him who gives me strength. This verse reminds us that we have the ability to overcome challenges and achieve our goals through the strength and support we receive from God. It encourages believers to approach difficulties with confidence and resilience, knowing that they can rely on God's strength to persevere and succeed by trusting in God's power and guidance. Individuals can cultivate a mindset of faith, determination, and perseverance in the face of adversity. I love this verse. I try to apply it to my life as much as I can. I actually have a bracelet that says that specific Philippians 4:13, because I can do all things through Christ. And that's the big thing that's changed in my life as well, as my faith. Like, when my first business failed, it took a lot from me, right? And I was in a season of like, no, I'm not going to try again. I literally left the field of business or sales for a very long time when it failed, because I was so scared and so exhausted. And like I said, all my work went to, nothing. But now if I fail, I actually go to prayer and I said, God, if this isn't for me, then I know that it's not going to work. But if this is for me and I have you behind me and we lock hands and we're walking with each other, then I know that it's going to work. And guess what? It takes away a lot of the pressures of having to fulfill something, because my fulfillment doesn't come from my achievements or anything else. It actually comes from God. And being able to have a growth mindset instead of a fixed one allows me to dream bigger and say, God, through faith, I will make this happen. We will make this happen. Through faith, this is something that will carry on in my life, right? So I really hope that you guys found this video to be of value. And if you really liked it, please share. I always say that we grow with people. And like always, remember that I love you, but that the Lord loves you more. Always, always, always. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.